Next, put a heading as life cycle of liverwort. Life cycle of liverwort. Now, which example are we going to see in liverwort? We are going to see a Markantia, right? Markantia और Riccia were the two examples for liverwort, class liverwort, Hepaticopsida में. उसमें जो Markantia plant है ना, वो यूनिसेक्सुअल प्लांट है. मैंने यूनिसेक्सुअल के लिए और एक टर्म बताया था. व्हाट वाज दैट? Dioecious. How are you remembering? Opposite. Opposites are synonyms here. Okay. So it's a dioecious plant. So first I will draw here and show you all. So if I take this as a male gametophyte, okay, क्योंकि लिवरवर्थ में या फिर मार्कियांशिया में डोमिनेंट कौन होगा? गैमिडोफाइट डोमिनेंट होगा. याद है ना, मैंने लास्ट क्लास में बोला था कि देयर आर टू जनरेशंस इन वन प्लांट, दैट इज व्हाट? स्पोरोफाइट एंड गैमिडोफाइट. नाउ लिवरवर्थ्स गैमिडोफाइट इज डोमिनेंट. ओके, ये डोमिनेंट भी है. एंड गैमिडोफाइट्स आर ऑलवेज हैप्लॉइड. They are always haploid. Okay, and it's green in color, so I can say they are photosynthetic. And they are completely independent. When they can do photosynthesis, they need not depend on anybody. So they are independent. So this is the characteristics of a gametophyte plant. So I told you they are unisexual. So there will be another plant which is a female gametophyte. Okay. Now when a Markantia is going to undergo sexual reproduction, what is it going? Now even this one also has the same features. Okay, gametophyte sex is different, but the features of a gametophyte is the same. तो dominant bryophytes में हमेशा gametophyte होता है ना? algae में कौन dominant था? gametophyte ही. sporophyte देखा ही नहीं हमने. zygote को ही sporophyte बुलाया था, याद है? sporophytic meiosis हो रहा था उधर. zygote only underwent meiosis, so we never saw a sporophyte. Okay, so when a male gametophyte is there, it is going to produce a kind of fruiting body kind, a stalk kind of structure, and on this stalk we will see the male reproductive structure, male sex organ. Okay, we are going to see the male sex organ. Male sex organ के बारे में बताया था क्या मैंने? हाँ, नाम क्या है male sex organ का? Antheridium. Okay, male sex organ is antheridium. Antheridium के अंदर क्या होते हैं? Correct. So we will see antherozoids. Okay, these are the gametes. Now this stalk which is holding male antheridium, we will call it as antheridiophore. Okay, antheridiophore is holding antheridium. Just like that, even female gametophyte has a stalk which is called as archegoniophore, and on this there is a flask like structure called archegonium. And what is a female gametophyte? Yes. एक याद रखना चाहिए आपको, bryophytes को why do we call it as amphibians of plant kingdom? The reason is they are terrestrial. You find them on the moist soil, on the banks of the river, but for fertilization they require water. So their fertilization is mainly during rainy season because there will be water everywhere, no? happens in fertilization. Now you know antherozoids are having flagella. Okay, biflagellated, correct? So these antherozoids are going to come out of antheridium. They are going to swim and enter the archegonium to fertilize with the egg cell. And fertilization कहाँ हो रहा है? Archegonium के अंदर है ना? Inside archegonium. So if the fertilization is happening inside any body, female body, we call it as internal fertilization. You must have seen how starfish fertilizes. Sperms is released, eggs are released, and in the water they get union, and zygote is formed in the water, not inside a female body. तो वो fertilization external fertilization है. So यहाँ पर fertilization क्या होगा? Yes, internal fertilization. Okay. So fertilization हुआ, what will be our next product? Zygote. Okay, fine. So we'll again draw the female structure now. So you will see a zygote whose ploidy is diploid. Okay, gametes are haploid. Okay, mention it. Okay. So now what is going to happen is this zygote will undergo rapid mitosis to increase in a big structure. Okay, and when it is going to produce a structure like this, and that is the sporophyte. Okay, zygote underwent mitosis to produce a multicellular structure called as sporophyte. Okay, this is the sporophyte. Now you see, sporophyte is lived for a short period of time. So can I call it recessive? Because the one who lives long is known as dominant, है ना? हाँ. So this is recessive. Next, ये बना किससे? zygote से. तो उसका ploidy क्या होगा? Diploid. Okay? Diploid होगा. Next is it's not green in color. Okay? And it is dependent on whom? ये आपको दिख रहा है ना ऐसे root like structure. इससे वो absorb करेगा nutrition from the gametophyte. Okay? So it is dependent. It's like parasitic. Okay? So it is dependent on gametophyte for both food and shelter because it's living on it. Okay? हाँ. Now this sporophyte is divided into 3 parts. आप देख सकते हो ये root like structure जो बना है उसको बोलेंगे हम foot, from which absorption happens. You can see a small stalk that is known as seta, और ऊपर एक bulge structure दिख रहा है ना, that is the capsule. Okay, that's the capsule. So foot, seta, capsule are the parts of the sporophyte. Okay, तो अब sporophyte का काम क्या है? To produce spores, है ना? हाँ. So next, where spores are produced? In the capsule. Okay. In capsule, meiosis occur. Okay. and this is the sporophyte with spores. एंड मियोसिस से बना है स्पोर्स, तो प्लॉइडी क्या होगा? हैप्लॉइड. तो स्पोरिडी हैप्लॉइड होता है. ओके हाँ. नाउ स्पोर्स क्या होगा? डिस्पर्स होगा. And later these spores only will germinate into male and female gametophyte. Spores germinate to male and female gametophyte. This is the complete life cycle of Markantia. Did you all understand? We can again revise with the nice picture. So you can see over here. So this is a male gametophyte. See, they have focus. See, you can see the stalk is antheridiophore. और ऊपर उन लोगों ने zoom out किया, zoom in किया है, and you can see this is the antheridium. और antheridium के अंदर see you have antherozoids. Look over here. This is the archegoniophore stalk. एंड इसके अंदर यू कैन सी फ्लास्क लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है ना, वो इन्वर्टेड है, हमने ऐसे लिखा था. ओके एंड दैट इज एंथेरिडियम एंड ईच एंथेरिडियम हैज ओनली वन egg cell. You can see that antherozoids get into the antheridium and they fertilize it, and then you will get a zygote. Then you can see zygote producing sporophyte. This is the foot, seta, capsule. Capsule में होते हैं spores, meiosis होता है. And they will only germinate. Each spore is going to germinate to give rise to a independent gametophyte. Understood? Did everybody follow the life cycle? Any doubts? Will you all write? Okay. Which diagram would you copy? Okay. Yeah, please write. Huh?
Down you drew a line for foot.
Foot, yeah, that is the marking of the foot.
Like that you drew something.
What I have drawn?
The seta is a stem like structure.
Yeah, seta is a stem and the niche one, the root like structure is foot.
That other diagram, how did you see it?
Here. In that diagram it was not shown, foot was not shown. See, life cycle in the textbook is mentioned in a very nutshell manner. So, better draw it properly in the class. Huh? ऊपर से बोला है. Next we will start with Bryopsida, class Bryopsida / moss.
What is dorsal ventral?
Dorsal is the upper side and the ventral is the lower side. When it is completely in मतलब एक 2D image जैसा है, where you cannot say which is on the dorsal side and ventral side, we call it as dorsiventral. When it is completely flat. Okay? देखो हमारे बॉडी में हम बोल सकते हैं कि ये डॉर्सल है, ये वेंट्रल है, यू कैन डिफरेंशिएट. बट इनके पूरा इतना फ्लैट रहता है कि यू कैन नॉट डिफरेंशिएट बोथ द साइड्स. वी से डॉर्सली वेंट्रली फ्लैट एंड सेम थिंग वी से फॉर tapeworms. Tapeworms are so thin, so flat, so you cannot say which is its dorsal side and which is its ventral side. Got it? Okay. Now put heading, put heading as class Bryopsida / moss. Okay. Now, when we saw liverwort, it was still a thallus, right? better than algae, but it was still a thallus. You had some root-like structures, leaf-like structures, लेकिन फिर भी वो dorsiventrally flattened था. Body was not properly divided. But when we see Bryopsida, no, you can see over here, it's gametophyte. यहाँ पर भी dominant कौन है? Gametophyte है. Gametophyte is little, body is still thallus, but it is little looking like higher plants. You can see rhizoids, you can see some leaf-like structures, you can see a stem. है ना? So this is a little better and it is little erect. ऐसे flat grow नहीं करेगा, horizontally grow नहीं करेगा. It has a erect thallus. Okay. First write down habitat, found in shady place and damp soil. Found in shady place and damp soil. Next is structure. Structure. Who is dominant over here? Gametophyte is dominant over here. So write down the main plant body is gametophyte. The main plant body is gametophyte in the bracket end. So now it has a erect thallus. Okay, next point is erect thallus. Has erect thallus. Has erect thallus. Has erect thallus. Okay. Now what are you going to see over here is, when you see the structure, we saw that in liverworts, matlab in Markensia, we said on the ventral side there are root-like unicellular, we mentioned the word unicellular structure as rhizoids. Here also it's not a perfect root, बिल्कुल root जैसा नहीं है, लेकिन root का काम करता है, और वो multicellular structure है, इसको बोलते हैं rhizoids. Rhizoids are present at the base of the stem and you can see leaves, and leaves are arranged in a spiral manner. Okay, copy this point, multicellular to gametophyte. Next is reproduction. Next heading is reproduction. So over here, one type of reproduction what you see is fragmentation. Okay, you won't be seeing Gemma cup here. Gemma cup was exclusively for Markensia. यहाँ पर you will see budding of protonema. Now protonema is like a intermediate structure. देखो, it's an intermediate structure in the reproduction. Spore won't give rise to gametophyte. उधर कैसा था? Spore directly gave rise to a gametophyte. No, यहाँ पर spore एक intermediate structure देगा जिसका नाम है protonema. Protonema will produce buds, and how many ever protonema produces buds, so many gametophytes you get. So we consider this budding of protonema as a asexual reproduction. Got it? Okay, so write down. Reproduction is fragmentation, budding in protonema. Now coming to sexual reproduction, वो plant था unisexual plant. Now this is a monoecious plant. What do you mean by monoecious? Bisexual. So the plant body itself produces branches. शायद ऊपर वाले ब्रांच से आएगा मेल गैमेटोफाइट, सॉरी या ऊपर वाले ब्रांच से आएगा एंथेरिडियम और नीचे वाले ब्रांच से आएगा आर्किगोनियम. इट इज लाइक दैट. ओके, हाँ, राइट डाउन दिस. गैमेटोफाइट इज मोनीशियस, हैज एंथेरिडियल एंड आर्किगोनियल ब्रांच. यहाँ पर आर्किगोनियोफोर नहीं है, ब्रांचेस आर देयर. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? इज अ स्पेशल ब्रांच बेरिंग एंथेरिडियम, तो वो ब्रांच को क्या बोलेंगे? Antheridial branch. The other branch has archegonium, so archegonial branch. Okay. Now write down life cycle of Bryopsida. एक काम करो, examples पहले लिखो. Examples are Funaria, 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 Polytrichum, Sphagnum. Funaria, Polytrichum, Sphagnum. So this is a gametophyte. Okay. Gametophyte is independent here because it's green in color. It is dominant. Okay. Bada bhi, it is independent, dominant, it is photosynthetic. लेकिन प्लॉइडी क्या होगा? हैप्लॉइड. Okay. This gametophyte will produce a special branch. That branch will have a male reproductive, female I'll write here. It has a special branch, and this branch is having a flask shaped female reproductive organ, which is archegonium, and the branch is called archegonial, archegonial branch. No, it is a stage. Yeah, we'll come to it now. And then we have this branch is known as antheridial branch with antheridium sex organ. This antheridium has antherozoids. Antheridium. So this is going to have, Sanjana, stop talking. Antheridiozoids. Okay, and inside the archegonium there is a egg cell. Now what is going to happen? First we are going to see fertilization. So the antheridium is going to enter the archegonium, and the fertilization here, it is also internal fertilization. You know what you all do while drawing? Now you will just make this branch on top and this one at the bottom. Okay, because the sporophyte is always on the top. See, yahan par you can see the sporophyte is always on the top. Okay, try to make the archegonial branch towards the tip and antheridial branch at the bottom. Okay. After this, we are going to see that the zygote will be formed. A zygote here, which is diploid. Okay. Now again the same thing. This zygote is going to give rise to the next generation, that is sporophyte. Now ischia sporophyte is not like liverwort sporophyte. Liverwort sporophyte was little stout. This is little bit elaborate. You can see setae bit elaborate. Okay, like this. So this is foot, this is seta, and this is capsule. Okay, this is the sporophyte. Now when we see sporophyte, it's diploid because it's a result of zygote. Next, recessive. Next, it is also still dependent on gametophyte. Okay, these are the characteristics of sporophyte. Next, what we see is, we see that inside the sporophyte there will be spores formed. Inside the sporophyte, you are going to see inside the capsule, you are going to see spores. Spores form inside capsule by meiosis. That's why they are haploid. Okay. Now, these spores disperse. Now, you won't be seeing these spores directly giving rise to gametophyte. These spores will germinate into an intermediate structure which is called protonema. Spores germinate to protonema. What is this? It is an intermediate structure. Okay. Okay. So it's an intermediate structure next it is multicellular. See, spore was unicellular लेकिन ये multicellular है and filamentous. These protonema itself produces buds. They produce buds. Okay. Now these buds only give rise to gametophyte. How many buds are there? So many gametophyte. Buds gives rise to gametophyte. Okay, this is the life cycle of moss. एक difference है protonema. Okay, spores are giving rise to protonema. Protonema के ऊपर buds होगा. हर एक bud से क्या आएगा? एक एक gametophyte आएगा. Because gametophyte is ये है ना, bisexual है ना, so it doesn't matter. It is not like this spore is going to give rise to female gametophyte या male gametophyte, ऐसा नहीं है. Got it? और इस प्रोटोनिमा को भी आप लोगों ने कट किया. Individual protonema can give rise to buds. That's why in living world we told it as example for fragmentation of protonema. Got it? हाँ, please copy this. Protonema will be haploid. Huh? Yeah, I want you all to interchange. Yeah, fertilization was water. Later process and all was in the land.
So the actoroids travel.
Yeah, in the water. Okay. Now put two columns. Let's see the difference of the two classes. So I told you we are not going to study the third class. Okay. हाँ. So put two columns. एक column में liverwort लिखो, दूसरे में moss. Okay. हाँ. Now first difference what we are going to see is difference between liverwort and moss. First one is thallus is prostrate. लिवरवर्थ में थैलस इज प्रोस्ट्रेट और मॉस का थैलस क्या होगा? इरेक्ट. राइट डाउन थैलस इज इरेक्ट. सेकेंड वन इज किसके पास यूनिसेलुलर राइजोइड्स है? हाँ, और मॉस के पास? हाँ. राइट डाउन दैट डिफरेंस. ओके. आपको एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में कुछ डिफरेंस पता है? हाँ, किसमें प्रोटोनिमा है? बडिंग ऑफ प्रोटोनिमा, मॉस. एंड व्हाट इज व्हाट टाइप ऑफ वी फाउंड? यस, आई कुड हियर समबडी सेइंग gamma cup in liverwort. So write down asexual reproduction is gamma cup liverwort में, और यहाँ पर asexual reproduction is budding in protonema. Gamma cup, asexual reproduction is gamma cup. Here asexual reproduction is budding in protonema. Next difference we will see with respect to sporophyte. Okay. So in liverwort sporophyte will be less elaborate, it was stout. और यहाँ पर कैसे था sporophyte? Long था, we saw the setae was long, no? So write down liverwort less elaborate and here sporophyte more elaborate, more elaborate. हाँ, liverwort में spores directly gave rise to gamidophyte. Here what did the spores gives rise to? Protonema. Next is here in liverwort ये जो स्पोर बर्स्टिंग है ना, स्पोर कैप्सूल इट जस्ट बर्स्ट्स ऑफ. ऐसे कोई डिस्पर्सल मैकेनिज्म नहीं है. लेकिन व्हेन यू सी द कैप्सूल ऑफ मॉस, इट्स इन द हायर क्लासेस, इट हैज सम काइंड ऑफ टिश्यूज कॉल्ड एज इलेटर्स. व्हेन यू सॉल्व एमटीजी नो, यू विल कम अक्रॉस दिस टिश्यू, नेम ऑफ दिस टिश्यू. इलेटर्स नाम के टिश्यूज होते हैं. ये इलेटर्स नाम के टिश्यू क्या करते हैं? दे आर हाइग्रोस्कोपिक, दे एब्जॉर्ब वाटर एंड देन दे विल open up like this, and then the spores are out. It doesn't burst, it just opens like this. Elaters are present at the grooves, they absorb water and they open up. Okay, so we call it has spores have dispersal mechanism. I think I have given economic importance, right? Bryophytes? Yeah, no? Okay, fine. So we completed the second division, that is bryophyte. Algae is completed, bryophyte is completed. So the next division what we are going to study is pteridophytes. Economic importance. Okay. Now this is a complete terrestrial plant. Elaters, E-L-A-T-E-R-S. E-L-A-T-E-R-S. Okay. Now put a heading as division pteridophytes. Now ये division जो हम पढ़ने वाले हैं ना pteridophytes, these are completely terrestrial. They don't need any moisture, they don't need any moist habitats. They can grow in cool terrestrial places. Okay. So first write down habitat, cool and shady places. cool and shady places. Some grow in sandy soil. अभी तक हमने डोमिनेंट फेस किसका देखा था? गैमेडोफाइट. आल्गे में भी गैमेडोफाइट था, ब्रायोफाइट्स में भी गैमेडोफाइट था, लेकिन ब्रायोफाइट्स में we at least saw sporophyte structure. From here till angiosperms, dominant phase is sporophyte. Diploid is the dominant phase. Okay, so write down the major plant body is sporophyte, that is dominant. Next, what do we see over here is, whenever we see the plant, pteridophytic plant, this is how these look. You will see these plants will be having proper roots. There is no rhizoids here. Proper roots doing the absorption activity, you can see. You can see them having stem and you can see them having leaves. So, sporophyte has root, stem and leaves. Okay, write down. True root, stem, leaves present. First time in evolution, you will also see vascular bundles present. You must have heard about xylem and phloem, no? उसका origination pteridophytes में हुआ था. It originated in pteridophyte plants. लेकिन वो एंजियोस्पर्म जैसे एडवांस नहीं है, primitive stage में है. Okay. Now we saw 3 milestones over here. What was the first milestone? For the first time, sporophyte became the dominant phase. Right? First milestone. Second milestone was, for the first time we saw body divided into root, stem and leaves. Second milestone. Third milestone was vascular bundle. So, these are the 3 milestones which we are going to see over here. Okay. Now, coming to its leaves, it has different types of leaves. Okay. When we see the leaves of pteridophytes, we see 2 types of leaves. Leaves का function are of 2 types. What is a normal leaf? What is the normal function of the leaf? Photosynthetic. So, these normal leaves will do photosynthesis. Okay. There is another leaf called as sporophyll. Leaf is a part of sporophyte, you all know. अभी पता चला कि leaf is a part of sporophyte. Sporophyte में ही हम देखते हैं root, stem and leaves. So, sporophyll will do spore production plus photosynthesis. Okay? Yeah, please copy this. Huh? It looks like normal leaves, लेकिन उसमें spores होते हैं. I'll show you the picture. You can see these plants. These are the examples. Selaginella. देखो इनके leaves are so small in size, है ना? They are small leaves they have. So, if the leaves are small, we will say they are microphylls. Okay, if the leaves are small in size, we call it as microphylls. Here you can see these plants. ये वाला plant देखो, ये पूरा leaf है. You can see this leaf. It's complete leaf. लेकिन leaf का size क्या है? बड़ा है. इतने लंबे leaves मिलेंगे. तो उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Macrophyll. Small leaves are microphylls. Larger leaves are macrophylls. Okay, write down. So, under you can write it like this only, like under normal leaves, because they do photosynthesis. So, under normal leaves you can write there are 2 types, that is microphyll, small leaves, where you see example, you see in Selaginella. Okay, Selaginella, and you will see it in equisetum. This is the equisetum plant. This one. See, this is equisetum plant. You can see a small leaves over here, no? The spiral leaf wound. Selaginella and equisetum. Okay, microphyll, then macrophyll, you will see large leaves. I think ferns are the example. Macrophylls, larger leaves, example is ferns. Sometimes in sporophyll also we have something called as macrosporophyle, like this. See over here, this is a macrophyll, a big leaf. ये macrophyll है, लेकिन उसके पीछे के साइड पर, वेंट्रल साइड पर, कैन यू सी स्पोर्स हियर? ये पूरे लीफ में ही दिखता है. दिस इज अ फर्न प्लांट. ओके, आप फर्न प्लांट के वेंट्रल साइड पर टर्न करोगे, यू कैन सी लाइक दिस काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर्स. दो स्ट्रक्चर्स आर कॉल्ड एज सॉरस, और उसके अंदर बहुत सारे, इफ यू बर्स्ट इट, नो, lots of like poppy seeds type of spores are coming out, will be coming out of it. So behind the leaf itself, what are you going to see? Spores. Okay. So in macrosporophyll, if you can see, behind the leaves, अभी इसको सॉरस नहीं बुलाएंगे, अभी बोलेंगे इसको स्पोरेंजिया, क्योंकि स्पोरेंजिया के अंदर ही स्पोर्स देखा था ना. स्पोरेंजिया, and inside sporangia you can see spores, and spores are haploid. Okay, so over there, no, put an arrow and draw macrosporophyll, and below that you will draw this picture. Okay. No, micro is also there. Macrosporophyll. Did everybody write macrosporophyll? Now draw the picture and write down example as fern, that is a fern leaf. Those who are having macrophyll will produce macrosporophyll. Macrophyll is only a photosynthetic leaf. Think a fern is having 10 leaves. So 10 are macrophylls. In that two macrophylls, behind you can see sporangia. So what will I call it as? Macrosporophyll. So those leaves, the macrosporophyll, will also do photosynthesis because they are green in color as well as produce spores. So those who are having macrophyll only will produce macrosporophyll. Got it? Second one is microsporophyll. Microsporophyll, again the same thing. जिसके पास माइक्रोफिल है, वो क्या बनाएगा अपने लीफ में? एक स्पोरेंजिया बनाएगा. जब वो अपने लीफ में स्पोरेंजिया बन गया, इस लीफ को हम क्या बोलेंगे? माइक्रोस्पोरोफिल. अभी वो फोटोसिंथेसिस भी करेगा प्लस स्पोर प्रोडक्शन भी करेगा. समझा? हाँ. Ritesh is following? Okay, so here microsporophil. Okay, now, yeah, example I'll give you. Example are the same ones. Those who are having microsporophil will definitely have microsporophyll. Now you can see the same example. I'll show you Selaginella. Some of the see, can you see the topmost leaves of Selaginella here? They are grouped. They are forming a group like this. Okay. Now if I open that, see, they are closing it like this. If I open it, you will see a microphyll, this green color microphyll with a sporangia. So this whole leaf we will call it as microsporophil. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? ये वाले लीव्स में स्पोरेंजिया नहीं है, तो वो क्या बन गया? माइक्रोफिल। अगर कोई माइक्रोफिल में स्पोरेंजिया है तो उसका नाम क्या हो जाएगा? माइक्रोस्पोरोफिल। स्पोरेंजियोफिल नहीं, माइक्रोस्पोरोफिल। ओके, समझा? Now what are these leaves called? Microphyll. These leaves? Why? Sporangia in them. Okay. Here you see one leaf is having only one sporangia, but here it was not like that. In fern, many sporangias were there. Okay. Now what happens is, here देखो, ये सेलेजिनेला में सारे ब्रांचेस में आप माइक्रोस्पोरोफिल नहीं देखोगे, यहाँ पर एक स्पेशल ब्रांच में यू विल सी माइक्रोस्पोरोफिल, और ये ऐसे इसको ऐसे ओपन करके दिखाया है हमें। दे फॉर्म अ कोन लाइक स्ट्रक्चर, और उसी कोन लाइक स्ट्रक्चर मतलब ऑल द लीव्स आर नॉट ओपन, दे आर क्लोज लाइक दिस. Okay, and you can see their color is also little different. It is darkish in color, darker in color. So that part we call, where you see that the leaves are not open, they are closed, we call it as strobili. Strobili is plural, strobilus is singular. Okay, हाँ. So did you write microsporophil? हाँ. Okay, so you can draw like this. This is the sporangia. Inside you will see spores. Over? Okay. Next, put a heading as cone/strobilus. Huh? Huh, example same thing, where whatever you wrote for microphyll, no, the same examples. Examples are the same. Selaginella equisetum. Okay. Next, put the heading, side heading as cone/strobilus. Cone/strobilus.
B.
Huh?
S-T-R-O-B.
Cone, C-O-N-E. Strobilus, B-I-L-U-S, yes, S-T-R-O-B-I-L-U-S. Strobilus. So what is cone or a strobilus? It is nothing but group of microphyll clustered together. That makes a cone or a strobilus. Write down cluster of microsporophil bearing sporangia. Cluster of microsporophil bearing sporangia. See over here, this is also a strobilus and this is equisetum plant. Can you see this upper structure? This is also strobilus. Okay, equisetum plant ये है, ये इसका sporophyll है. Can you see these hair like green color? This is a microphyll. This is its microphyll. But at the top, what happens? All the microphylls are going to join like this because they are having sporangia and they form this kind of structure called as cone. Now we call it as cone, okay, or strobilus. Understood? Okay, write down cluster of microsporophil bearing sporangia. This is absent in fern. Why it is absent in fern? Fern have macrosporophil. Absent in fern. Example, equisetum and selaginella. Example, equisetum and selaginella. Okay. Equisetum and selaginella. Selaginella, equisetum, STEM, yes. SETUM, setum. Okay. Now, can you see these young leaves are curling? These are the young leaves, they are curling inside. Okay. That term curling inside is known as circinate vernation. Okay, it is circinate vernation. What does it mean? Young leaves rolled to the center. So, young leaves are rolled towards the center, and when only they become big, mature, they open up. Why? For protection. Because young leaves are very tender, no? They might get torn or anything might happen. So, that is why they are curling. Okay, write down this term. Next, put the heading as types of pteridophytes. Types of pteridophytes. So, based on the size of the spores, we classify pteridophytes into two types. जिनके स्पोर्स का साइज इक्वल है, कोई भी स्पोरैन जैसे बाहर आया, स्पोर्स का साइज इक्वल है, एक ही साइज के है, तो उसको बोलते हैं हम होमोस्पोरस टेरिडोफाइट्स. ओके. कभी कभार स्पोर्स का साइज अनइक्वल होगा, जस्ट लाइक हाउ वी आल्सो एनाइसोगैमस गैमेट्स, एक बड़ा एक छोटा. हाँ, कभी कभार ऐसे बड़े स्पोर्स रहते हैं, एक ही प्लांट में से बड़े स्पोर्स भी आएंगे, छोटे स्पोर्स भी आएंगे, तो उसको हम बोलते हैं heterosporous pteridophytes. Maximum all the pteridophytes are homosporous pteridophytes. We have two heterosporous pteridophytes, that is Salvinia and Selaginella. Easy to remember, SS. Okay, write down first one, homosporous pteridophyte. Homosporous pteridophytes hyphen seen in maximum number of pteridophytes. Seen in maximum number of pteridophytes. Seen in maximum number of pteridophytes, where the size of the spores are, same. Where the size of the spores are same. Second one, heterosporous pteridophyte. Different sizes of spores seen. Different sizes of spores seen. Example लिख लो, Salvinia and Selaginella. Okay. Yeah. Next is pteridophyte classes. Okay, classes. तो देखो हमने एनिमल किंगडम में ऑर्डर तक किया है ना, क्लास नहीं किया. हाँ, तो जैसे ब्रायोफाइट्स के क्लास में हमने सफिक्स देखा ना, व्हाट वाज द सफिक्स? ऑप्सिडा था. ओके, ऑप्सिडा था. आपको ये एनिमल किंगडम का ही सॉरी ये लिविंग वर्ल्ड का ही पार्ट है. लिविंग वर्ल्ड में व्हेन आई डू क्लास नो, आई विल टेल यू दैट द क्लास ऑफ विच डिवीजन, फर्स्ट डिवीजन, दैट इज algae has ACE as suffix. इसीलिए क्लोरोफाइसी, रोडोफाइसी, फियोफाइसी, समझ में आया ना? हाँ. नाउ व्हेन वी सी द नेक्स्ट क्लास, दैट इज ब्रायोफाइट्स और टेरिडोफाइट्स, इनके क्लास में हमें क्या आएगा सफिक्स? ऑप्सिडा. वहाँ पर भी ऐसे था, हेपैटिक ऑप्सिडा, ब्रायोप्सिडा, एंथोसिरोप्सिडा, यहाँ पर भी देखो ऑप्सिडा है. एंजियोस्पर्म में हम क्या देखते हैं क्लास में? दो क्लास है, एक है मोनोकोटिलिडने एंड डाइकोटिलिडने. ए लिडोने, दैट इज द सफिक्स. ओके, ये tomorrow when I am doing class now, I will give you all, but now you will better understand because this part is done. So opsida is the suffix for division bryophytes and pteridophytes. AC is the suffix for division algae. Okay, huh. So we have four suffix, that is pteropsida, lycopsida, Synopsida and Psilopsida. I know there are too many examples. They always give for match the following. So that's why you have to know this. Okay, Pteropsida में Pteris, Dryoptera, Ediantum, Azola. Azola तो सुना है ना? कहाँ पर? नहीं सुना? हाँ, एनाबीना, ब्लू ग्रीन आल्गे इसके अंदर ही रहता है. सिम्बायोटिक एसोसिएशन विद एन एजोला. ओके, हाँ, इसके लीफ के अंदर ही हमें मिलेगा एनाबीना विच इज डूइंग नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन. ओके, हाँ, ओफियोग्लासम सैल्विनिया. लाइकोप्सिडा में है लाइकोपोडियम सैलाजिनेला. लाइकोप्सिडा इजी टू रिमेम्बर. देखो इधर भी ज्यादा एल है, इधर भी एल है. सो कम्स टू लाइकोप्सिडा. Synopsida is equisitum. Psilopsida is easy to remember, Psilotum. Okay, write down this, all the four.